checking the odds here on www.betway.ug at the Betway shop, Market Plaza in Kampala. For the UEFA Champions League, by the way, they're already available, the quarterfinals, but they will only be coming up right after the international break, because this weekend it is the national teams across the globe, the international friendlies, the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, where the Cranes bid to wrap it up with 6 clean sheets. They are away against the Tanzania Taifa Stars. We'll be discussing the other 10 slots available to the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations and the start to the Euro 2020 in Europe. Welcome to the Just Darren Show, powered by Betway.
Don't wait for the final whistle. Betway is giving you complete control of your bets with early cash out. Cash out before or during the game. Visit betway.ug. Navigate to the menu or your bet slip. Select My Bets. Tap on Open Bets. Here you will see your cash out offer. Tap on Cash Out and confirm your choice. It's that easy. Place your bets with Betway.
Now, already 14 places have been taken up at the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations Championship. That will be in Egypt later on this year. The Uganda Cranes are one of the teams that are already through. Now, it implies that there are 10 slots remaining to the 2019 edition, and those will be served out this weekend in the qualifiers across the continent. Now, in Group L, where the Uganda Cranes are, there is still one place available, and that could either be taken up by Tanzania, who on 5 points, Lesotho on 5, or Cape Verde, who on 4. Cape Verde do host Lesotho on Sunday, and around the same time, the Uganda Cranes will be taking on the Taifa Stars of Tanzania in Dar es Salaam. The Taifa Stars laid out a goalless draw with the Uganda Cranes in Nambole back in September, and since then the Cranes have gone on to respond and picked 9 points in 3 games. Doubleheader against Lesotho, managed to win it, that one in Nambole and Maseru, before beating Cape Verde a 0-0 to progress to the Afcon for the first time back-to-back since 1978, 1976, 1974 run-up. Now, of course, this particular weekend, the Cranes will be gearing to win this one and probably even wrap it up with a clean sheet in 6 games, considering Dennis Onyango is yet to concede a goal. The coach, the Sabre Sebastian, has made some changes in the side, and of course his someone Mohamed Shaban is back into the squad, having had some good playing time in Morocco, not to forget Moses Opondo and of course Milton Karisa as well, making it to the team. So wait and see and what the Uganda Cranes will be delivering on Sunday when they do take on the Taifa Stars. Just get to www.betway.ug for that one. Now, like I did tell you, I'm here at the Betway shop at Market Plaza in Kampala and managed to catch up with some of the punters, and here is Mr. Ali, one of the punters. Who is your favorite Uganda Cranes player?
My favorite Uganda Cranes player is Dennis Onyango.
Why?
He's a very good goalie. Yeah.
When was the last time you watched the Uganda Cranes play?
I last watched Uganda Cranes play in the Afcon.
So the odds are available on www.betway.ug. Who is your pick on this one on Sunday? Uganda Cranes are away against Tanzania.
I'm going for a draw.
A draw?
Yes.
With goals or without goals?
A draw without goals.
Without goals?
Yes.
And that means your favorite player, Onyango, will be wrapping it up with 6 clean sheets.
Definitely.
You won't have conceded a goal.
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Special thanks for speaking to us, and good luck with your bet, the draw for the Uganda Cranes. But it will mean that Uganda Cranes and Tanzania will have played out 180 minutes without any of the teams scoring against one of the others. And we'll wait and see if that happens on Sunday. The clash comes up in Dar es Salaam. Good luck to the Uganda Cranes. Now let's talk the rest of Africa in the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. It is wrapping up in all the other different groups. Like I did tell you, 12 groups, 14 teams are already through, 10 places left at the 2019 edition that will be played in Egypt later on this year. And we'll move to the big groups, of course, that are still carrying the headlines are Group G and Group K. Considering that no team has yet qualified, it is bumper stuff in that particular group as they head into the final group games. But the biggest attention is in Group E, where there is The Nigeria Super Eagles do top it with 10 points after 5 games. In second is South Africa on 9 and then Libya on 7. The team that is already out of contention is Seychelles. And on Friday, Nigeria could be through and they will not need to know anything that will come from Sfax, where Libya will be taking on the side that is South Africa. Libya is playing away from home largely because of the insecurities back in their own country. But Nigeria do take on Seychelles on Friday, and this will be at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, where Nigeria are favorites. On www.betway.ug, Nigeria are primed to win this one with the odd at 1.03, while that for Seychelles is as high as 19.92. Do get to the site and be able to bet on that one. That comes up on Friday. But on Sunday, it is Libya who will be taking on the side that is South Africa. Libya are the team that are pushing for a third Afcon appearance in recent times. And of course, as we speak, Libya last qualified for the Afcon back in 2012. They've only qualified for the Afcon twice over the last 30 years or so. Now, on the other hand, the team we are talking about is South Africa, the Bafana Bafana. Well, known for their victory in 1996 when they beat Tunisia in the final. They have not featured at the Afcon since 2015. They missed out at the 2017 edition in Gabon. However, Stuart Baxter's charges have improved in recent times, including an 8-0 victory at home against Seychelles in that particular group. Well, they played out a goalless draw against Libya last year in September, and now the two teams face off again in Sfax in Tunisia on Sunday. It is a big one, I must tell you, but the favorites on www.betway.ug have been picked as Libya. When you look onto the site on www.betway.ug, that fixture, the odd for Libya to win is 2.84 and that for South Africa at 2.40, implying Baxter's charges are favorites to win this one away in North Africa. To think of South Africa winning away in North Africa has been quite tough in recent times. However, you can't risk that one, as punters do always go for it on www.betway.ug.
So it is a massive game for South Africa and Libya. As a neutral, I think it's amazing to go into the last game of a group knowing that there's a game on where both teams are playing for qualification effectively. Libya win takes them through, a draw for Bafana, a win for Bafana obviously takes them through, and depending on what happens with the Nigeria game, there's also a chance that Bafana could go top. The thing that's going to be interesting for me is the Libya game before. Libya were very tight, they were very compact, and you could see that they weren't actively trying too hard to get a win out of that game. But now they're at home and they need to win, and I think that will open things up a little bit. And I don't think that means that Bafana are going to go sort of gung-ho. I don't think it means they're going to go completely all over the place in order to try and get a victory. But I do think that it means Libya are going to open up a little bit, and that's when you've got to hope that the guys that do play, probably guys like Percy Tau, maybe Keegan Dole, Kamahel Mokocho, those guys will step up and be able to find some gaps, and hopefully Lebo Motiba, Lars Veldfake, both of whom have scored a fair bit of goals this season, that they can make the most of it. And look, it's going to be a tough game. I think Libya have proven how steely they can be, and they'll be confident with it being their home game as well. I know it's in Tunisia, but they'll be confident that they can get a result. So it's going to be a cracker, and I'm glad that it's going to be a decisive game as well, because it's always nice to have these games rather than dead rubbers at the end of the group.
Yes, Nigeria versus Seychelles, African Nations Cup qualifier. We all know that Nigeria has already qualified for the Nations Cup, so it's a dead rubber game, nothing to play for Nigeria. For most of the players, this is an opportunity to go home, enjoy the green grass of home, feel the beautiful weather, and eat some Nigerian delicacies cooked or prepared by lovely family members. But the focus will be on new players. Victor Osimhen, not exactly new, but hasn't really played enough games in the Super Eagles. So in a game like this, I think that the coach will give him a look in. There's also Paul, who plays in Denmark for FC Midtjylland. He's got a fantastic height. The coach is happy to have a player of his physical structure in the team. There's also Ikonwe Udo, an Eimba international left back, 19 years old. 19-year-old Ikonwe Udo. So, like I said, dead rubber game, nothing to play for Nigeria. It's a game for the coach to focus and look at the quality that these new players have got and what they can offer the Super Eagles going forward.
Now we'll move to Group G that has 3 points separating the 4 teams. Zimbabwe on 8 points. They've majorly relied on the striker Knowledge Musona, who has 4 goals to his name. And in second place is Liberia with 7. And of course, on 6 points is Democratic Republic of Congo. And on 5 is the side that is Congo-Brazzaville. Now, when we look at the permutations, this particular weekend, Zimbabwe is home to Congo-Brazzaville. Well, they do stand a chance to go through and qualify for the Afcon. While on the other side, Democratic Republic of Congo are at home. They do take on Liberia's Lone Stars. Now, in this one, Liberia, of course, haven't featured at the Afcon in recent times. Of course, they've struggled in previous qualifiers. They did play against the Uganda Cranes in the 2014 World Cup qualifiers. However, Democratic Republic of Congo have summoned the striker, that is Diomaxi Mbokani, back to the squad for the first time in a space of 2 years. And Flora Ibenge's team has struggled, especially away from home. However, they will hope they can turn the tables and rely on the stars like Mbokani, Elia Meshak and company to be able to advance and head to the Afcon. For Democratic Republic of Congo, they've got to win to be able to go through, because if they beat Liberia, their direct opponents, they qualify automatically to go to Egypt 2019. It's the same story for Zimbabwe when they do host Congo-Brazzaville, who are bottom of this particular group. The odds on www.betway.ug do have Zimbabwe at 1.65 and Congo at 4.90. For a draw in Harare, it is at 3.59. While in Congo, in Kinshasa, it will be Democratic Republic of Congo with the odd at 1.39, and that for Liberia at 6.66. Liberia themselves have the president in the man, that is George Weah, the only African player to win the FIFA World Player of the Year award back in 1995. Well, we can take a break, and when we return, we'll be discussing more of the football.
Introducing our new exciting weekly prediction game, 4 to Score, for a free chance to win up to $3,000 US. Simply pick the first team to score in each league from the EPL, Championship, League 1, and League 2. Submit your predictions before kickoff to qualify, exclusively at Betway.
Now we'll put a break to international football and talk club football a bit, because last week there was the UEFA Champions League draw that was held. There are still 4 teams from England in the quest to reach the final that will be in the Wanda Metropolitano later on in June. Now, of course, there are some 2 gentlemen here that I would love to discuss with the UEFA Champions League draw. Now I'm joined by 2 gentlemen here at the Betway shop, Market Plaza in Kampala. One Kalfa, the other gentleman here on my left, Ronald. And of course, we are discussing the UEFA Champions League quarter-final draw that was held. There are still 4 teams from England, and guess what? Both of these 2 gentlemen do support Manchester United. Am I right, Kalfa?
Yes, right.
Let's get straight to the game. Manchester United, Barcelona. What's your view about that one?
Unfortunately, we have to win the game, Manchester. Because the other time they give us PSG and they told us, PSG will beat, but we managed to win PSG. So this one, sure, our sure win. So all my money I'm going on Betway, I'm going to put on Manchester United win.
The first leg and second leg? First leg is at Old Trafford, second leg at Camp Nou?
Yes.
You think United can win both games?
Yeah, at home you have to win. We have to go with the win and Camp Nou, then even if we get a draw there.
Even if you get a draw?
Yeah.
Well, perhaps the gods could be on your side, because the last time United faced Barcelona in a 2-legged affair was in the 2008 Champions League semi-final. It was a goalless draw at the Camp Nou. United won 1-0 at Old Trafford and progressed to the final before beating Chelsea in 2008. Goal scored that winner. You remember that one?
Yes, I remember that.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you. And well, there is another curse I will tell you about. Lionel Messi and the quarterfinals of the Champions League. He's not scored in the last 8 quarterfinal matches in the UEFA Champions League. However, he is flying, considering he scored the brace that managed to get Barcelona through against Olympic Lyon in the round of last 16. But we don't talk Barcelona alone on Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 20 years ago, scored the winners United beat Bayern Munich in Camp Nou to win the UEFA Champions League for the second time after 1968. Quite lots of history in that one, but not much more history than the other game that involves Ajax taking on Juventus. Ronald, this is another game. Ajax was not expected to get this far. However, there is Juventus in the picture. Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah, well, as I say, Juventus and Ajax, I'm seeing Juventus going to win the game. As I see, Cristiano is will be the man of the match, so I think Juventus is going to win the game.
Juventus has the edge in this one.
Yes.
Why the experience? Because Ajax is using youngsters, of course.
Yeah, I
backed
think
up.
Juventus has the experience. Depending on the matches has been winning, so I guess just trying to
push their story.
Yes.
Well, I'll still stay with you. Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur. These two teams are meeting for the very first time in Europe.
Yeah, well, what I think is Manchester City is going to win the game, and Spurs has no history to make.
Now has no history to make, and as well to back them up. But as well, Man City as well are not really that good. But back to you, Calford, here, as we wrap it up. The other game as well involves Liverpool taking on the champions from Portugal, that is FC Porto. Last season, as Liverpool made it to the final, they eliminated Porto 5-0 on aggregate at the last 16 stage. You see Jurgen Klopp's team doing the same thing this time round at the quarter-final.
Yes, well, Liverpool is doing well. Yeah, you can do it.
Where do you think they have the advantage over FC Porto?
Liverpool is strong than Porto. These days, Liverpool is scoring too much. Yeah. Liverpool has opportunity.
Are there any key players you think could give Liverpool the edge over Porto?
Yeah, they are money. Money can do it. We have Firmino. They can do it. Salah is there even.
So you expect Manchester United to go through?
Manchester United to go through. Liverpool.
Yes.
Yes.
Ajax, Juventus.
Juve can go through.
And then the other last quarter final, Manchester City, Tottenham
Manchester City, automatically Manchester will go through.
Do you agree with him? United,
no,
Barcelona?
No. Me, what I can say on United's game and Barcelona, I think United will win the game, the first leg.
Yes.
But what we need as we Manchester United fans, we need a win at home.
At home.
When we go out away, we can make a draw. We can do a draw, whatever the case.
Right.
So, what we know, but we are going to qualify in the semi-finals.
To get to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
The last time Manchester United made it to the semi-final was back in 2011, and well, they went on to play the final in 2011 at Wembley, and guess what happened? Barcelona 3, Manchester United 1. Back in 2009 in the final yet again, Manchester United faced Barcelona, and well, there was an intriguing element in that final. Lionel Messi leaped over Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic, much shorter than them, to score Barcelona's second goal to win the UEFA Champions League. And of course, that is the story there. United up against Barcelona, Ajax taking on Juventus, Man City, Spurs, and of course Liverpool, FC Porto. You can bet on all these matches on www.betway.ug. And not to forget an expert opinion. Take a look.
Here we are, the last 8 teams in the best club competition in the world, the Champions League. Obviously the last 16 threw up some amazing matches, but we're hoping for more drama. Now it gets down to the final 8. There was no more drama, you could argue, than in Paris at the Parc des Princes, where I was, where Manchester United became the first team in Champions League history to overcome a 2-goal home deficit to progress. Their reward? Well, Barcelona. It doesn't get any easier, but it throws up some nice little side plots. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still the caretaker manager and still the front runner for the job on a permanent basis. He goes back to the new camp 20 years on from scoring that last gasp winner to seal Manchester United the treble and obviously the Champions League crown. Elsewhere, Manchester City, the crosstown rivals, go to Tottenham. Tottenham's first European game, shall I say, at their brand new stadium, which will be opening at the start of April. That should be a hell of a tie. Obviously, Manchester City are still on for the quadruple, and with Tottenham's hopes fading in the Premier League, they really do need something to give their season a kick. Liverpool are the other side. They're facing Porto, a side they so easily got rid of last year in the Champions League knockout rounds. Nobody is expecting anything other than and then Liverpool progress. But as we've seen with Ajax, strange things can happen. Ajax were obviously they've been the star name of this Champions League. They've got some wonderful young talent and some experienced older heads like Dusan Tadic, who was so superb at the Bernabeu as Ajax came from behind in that first leg loss to win so stunningly in Spain. Then the semi-final draws have obviously been been done as well. It could be if Manchester United can get over Barcelona, which is hard, but they did overcome PSG and have won at Juventus this season. The reward is likely to be Liverpool, whereas Man City will have the tough test of Juventus, you'd think, if that tie goes as the bookmakers expect. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if the bookmakers have lost some money on some big bets this season, because it's been an amazing tournament and hard to really put your finger on, and there's already been so many surprises and there's so many key players left in. It promises to be a fascinating draw.
Now let's talk the UEFA Euro Championship, because the qualifiers do get underway this particular weekend. There is a plethora of fixtures across the 10 different groups that do compose 5 or 6 teams. The road to the Euro 2020 is a bit different, because for the first time since 1976, even there is no team that will be skipping the qualifiers, largely because there is no particular host. The tournament next year will be played across 12 different cities, and it will involve 24 teams, an increment already in the qualifiers. Now it means that from the 10 groups, the top 2 teams do qualify and head to the Euro, implying those are 20, and the other 4 positions will be taken up by the best placed teams that have missed out through the qualifier, but coming from the UEFA Nations League that did get under, of course, last year and going to the final stages of this particular tournament. Now, of course, I'm joined by 2 other punters here at the Betway shop at Market Plaza in Kampala, and of course one of them, the gentleman next to me, is Frederick, and the other on the other side is Ron. I will be discussing the big game, the pick of the fixtures on Sunday that will be in Amsterdam, where in Group C, Netherlands do host the Germans. Big game here we are talking about. Netherlands got into the final, the 2010 World Cup. 2014 they couldn't get out of the group stages. 2018 they missed the World Cup, they were not in Russia. Germany on the other side, they surrendered the World Cup title in Russia last year. These are 2 teams that look like they are all going to be building again. What's your take on Sunday's fixture?
I take it Germany is going to win the Netherlands. Germany is a very good team. Won. Because they have the good players to win the game. That's what I see.
Joachim Low, the coach for Germany, has announced someone, Jerome Boateng, Mats Hummels, Thomas Muller. They've all not been summoned, but from the team that he's left with, he has 8 new faces, and then only 4 players who won the World Cup are still in that team. Do you think the new faces can match the task?
They're coming. They're coming. It's going to win. That's why I think.
Okay, I'll move to Ronald on the other side. The last time these 2 teams met, they played out a 2-2 draw in Germany, and then in Netherlands, where they were in Amsterdam, Netherlands won 3-0, and looks like they are buoyed by the youngsters for Ajax, who managed to help Ajax go past Real Madrid in the Champions League.
I think these 2 teams in Europe are big teams, but this time Netherlands is building that team, and the German has a mature players. I think this match is not easy.
Where will you put your money? Because the odd on www.
Germany, because has a key players, and from the big clubs like Ozil from Arsenal, has a defender from Chelsea, Hirori from Man City. They are good players.
They're good players, and you think they can win? They can win the particular encounter. Well, just to let you know that the odd on www.betway.ug for Germany to win is 2.70. That for Netherlands though is 2.42. Do you still go for Germany or Netherlands?
Germany.
Germany to win.
Yes.
Well, interesting there. The punters here, and well, on all these gadgets right next to me, you can bet on www.betway.ug on that big game on Sunday, where Netherlands do take on the Germans. But of course, there are so many fixtures in this particular weekend in the UEFA Euro qualifiers that do get underway in Europe. Quite plenty of fixtures, including the international friendlies as well, all available on www.betway.ug. And remember, you can be part of the show here if you use the hashtag JustDarren on Twitter and Facebook. We as well on YouTube. Do catch the show, and well, remember, it's just Darren.